Good morning, garden lovers. I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. It's been a while. I'm so sorry. I've been MIA, but I've just been very busy um, with things, with life, and but I'm back. So yesterday, I want to show you this first. I went to a nursery in North Metro Atlanta area. It's called Lady Slippers. My mother-in-law and I, or especially my mother-in-law, or I have to take her, not have, but I love to go with her there. She loves to go there and get her annuals, especially the pansies in the fall. And so we went there yesterday, and I wasn't intending on getting pansies actually. I was gonna boycott or not bother, but not bother because I was waiting for a very special pansy. I don't even know if Georgia was gonna get some this year. They're thinking maybe in the spring. It's that Japanese bread ruffled pansies. And so, but anyway, we went to Lady Slippers, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna get anything. And then in a flat of like blue pansies, I saw this thing kind of like shining, or it just like jumped at me, and I'm like, ooh. And I went to look at it, and I was thinking maybe this is a mixed color flat, and so it was actually, but anyway, and so I asked the guys, because there was only one of that color and everything else was the same color, and they were like, no, that just seeded by itself, and we don't have that color at all. But it's so beautiful, especially the this part right here. It just caught my eye. It looks like a monkey face, a monkey's face, but it just red, kind of antique and old-fashioned. Not that pansies are not old-fashioned, because they are, but anyway, I decided to make a simple pot right in front of the garage, actually. So I struggled. I was just gonna get this kale, which is a dark-leaved kale, but I saw this, and then I struggled with the color as well. There were like yellow, that was beautiful, there was bright pink, there was red, and then there's this orangey. So I love orange, so I decided to get this orange, and then I got one of that, of course, because I can't get any more. And then I got this dark, it's actually a dark purple, if it's in the sun. And then I got this beautiful, it kind of went or goes with the yellow of both of this. There's a yellow, tiny yellow in there, and it's so demure. These are the violas, so I only have one pansy, this one, and then the rest are just violas, and it's repeated in the back. So anyway, they will fill in, very simple. I just have this kale, which is ornamental, and then the pansies, and that's it. And then I put in front of it my existing potted marigolds in an antique, maybe vintage pot from Kmart. Kmart is no longer operating, so it's terracotta, and I've had this since like late summer. I planted late summer, and they're all on sale, because earlier in the year the marigolds weren't doing well. We had so much rain, and then so they put everything in the stores. They put marigolds, lots of marigolds on sale. So I bought a couple and put them in pots, and it got hot, and then they did well. So that's why they look kind of happy, but not too bushy. I have bushier one in my garden by the gate, and I've planted them since, I don't know, late spring, and they survived and are huge. But anyway, so that is the pot or container garden that I just made yesterday, and I can actually show you here the rest of my haul from yesterday. So as you can see, this one I planted. So they're basically all but 2 pansies. So this is the other pansy. And I just love violas, you know, no offense pansies, but violas are so cute, especially like in the winter when they're just hanging out, so cute. And there's so much leaves, even though the leaves are not even completely turned yet. Oh, and I also got this ginger, and it's going to bloom soon, and I'm gonna put it in a pot in the back deck. So because it's kind of like semi-shade over there, but not too shade. So yeah, everything is typical fall in the garden. Just, you know, everything is kind of blah and full of leaves. Hubby actually used the blower last night, and because it was so bad, but it looks a little better. But it's the ones in with the plants are, you know, what can you do? I mean, it's gonna be, I'm gonna clean up still before the actual falling of the big falling of the leaves. But yeah, it's actually making me so discouraged. Actually, the hostas are looking really bad, but you know, they're alive, so that's the most important thing. In this container right here, the snapdragons are looking a little ratty, but this guy bloomed. It actually had quite a few blooms, and some fell off, or I don't know, something brushed off and snapped them off, the dogs. But it's so cute. I'm gonna repot this and bring them inside because I just love the soft muted yellow. And so what time is it? I think it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, let me show you also my other haul from yesterday, which is my mother-in-law actually gracefully it's not in here. But anyway, I have this Carly Rose and this Blonde Ambition grama grass, and then this I was gonna say Lespedeza Lomandra grass. I think I'm gonna take those out except for the Carly, because yesterday I got another Carly. It was so hard to find the grass that I wanted in Georgia. I don't know why. I found Carly and the Blonde Ambition, which Blonde Ambition is not looking too hot. I found them in Columbus, Ohio, of all places, but I don't know what's going on with Atlanta. You know, we're so trendy city or metropolis, and yet we don't have things like, even in Huntsville, Alabama, they had this beautiful nursery, and they have all the plants, and we don't. But so I don't know what's going on. And in Lady Slippers yesterday, I was actually talking to their I don't know if she owns it, but she obviously was the buyer So she was actually making a list of things to immediately order, and I was talking to her about the pansy, and you know, it was a nice conversation for a change, for someone to, you know, someone that was very receptive of, you know, my ideas and, you know, my enthusiasm for plants, and you know, to be received that way. And she was very kind and gracious to let me sort of vent that, you know, there's no plants to be found. And also, I don't know if I've shown you this, but this is the sort of metal bucket from estate sales. I actually have 3 of them, so I finally found use of one, and these are the plants that we got from Huntsville. So there's this cute little Rebecca. There's another new Rebecca. This one is new as well, and this, which is, they're going over a yarrow. I'll put all the names in the description just in case you're interested. And this one is Rebecca as well. And then there's Pentas that I just snuck in there because it was on sale. It was pretty big. It was like a gallon. It was $2 sale plants, full of them. I guess they couldn't sell them. It was a rack full. I'm telling you, it was so many, and I felt so bad. And they'll last until first frost. So I got, you know, quite you know, big space of time to enjoy it for a lovely Pentas. And this one, I can't even remember what the name of it is. It's just a fall container plant, and I just love the veining, and you know, in this mostly yellow container. And this is the spin top variety of Gallarda. So it's very pretty when it's bloom. Of course, it's been blooming, and it's finally, you know, taking a break, and more to come. So it's gonna bloom until first frost. And then also in this heart-shaped garden here, so of course the sun decided to come out. So I've struggled in this area because it's just very rocky and discouraging to plant. And so I have, behind the container, I have a theu in here, and that is actually called Burning Love. It had some damage because it was bigger than that, but you know, it's recovering. And so that's gonna fill in. That's probably gonna be like 2 by 2 or 2 by 3 tall. So that's gonna fill in this area. And then in the spring, there's this white irises that are in here. And then somebody ate my what is this called, silver Dusty Miller. It was huge, but like I said, something ate it, and so I just transferred it there because I planted something else where it was. And then I planted this native plant, Helenium, or sneezeweed. It doesn't actually make you sneeze, but you guys probably know that. But a lot of people, I'm sorry, my allergies are bothering me. A lot of people think that it makes them sneeze. It doesn't. And then behind there is my fault. Those usually are blooming by now, but it also blooms first thing in the spring, like once it warms up, about mid-spring. And a lot of advice about asters, especially tall aster, they said pinch them so it would be bushier and not flop. But actually, mine never flopped, I guess because there's a huge lantana behind it. But I don't know, I got sidetracked and didn't deadhead, and so that's why they look like that, and they're supposed to be blooming by now, but it was all my fault. And I love that aster because that's the only thing really that's blooming in here in the fall. But and then this hold on, my glass is falling over. And then this other what is this guy? So it's just blooming its head off. Finally, it's been here for years, and it's not supposed to come back. It's supposed to be an annual lantana, but somehow, because I have so much leaves, they smell so good. So these two, they come back every year. So I've had it probably close to 6 years or so. But anyway, so there was this empty spots here, like I said, and let me see if I can give you a perspective. So there's this path, and it was just empty. It was basically full of mugwort, which I don't mind in the spring, but then I'll just pick them off when they get ratty. So mugwort is a tall, like an herb plant, an old heirloom herb plant. Let me see if I can show you. But it gets really tall, probably 3 feet. And they're so pretty when they first come up. It's variegated. Let's see the variegation? It's variegated. It lights up this area, and then nothing, especially when I pull them out. So the other day, I went to Ace Hardware, and they had 70% off echinaceas. And so I got 3 of them. I put one in here, and I think this is the super something watermelon. It's a new variety. So it's kind of like pompon, fuchsia. So I put that in there, and that should get tall, about 2 feet. Fill that in. It should get wider. So after the irises are done blooming, then the echinacea should follow, and then the helenium in the fall. And then I have to think of some summer plants to put in here. And then the rest of them, I put them in here. So this one is called what's that? Grenada yellow. You can see. And then the other one is a sombrero series from Darwin Perennials, I believe. So yeah, you guys check out Darwin. They have cool plants. So this is sombrero sangrita. So it's a single, which is good for pollinators. I mean, for $6, they were originally $20, so I got 3 for $18, which, how could you pass that up, right? And then that yellow, to sort of repeat the yellow from the helenium on the other side. So yeah. And then this heathers also were like from the low sale rack. I should have gotten more, but I think there were only 3 that looked kind of decent. Look how gorgeous and cute they are, and they kind of go with the purple lantana and also the obedient purple plant in there. And then the rest in there, I think I'm gonna have to do something there to make them, either to add some height, or I don't know, I'm definitely going to spread some compost in there. Maybe it would help the Secretia or the Wandering Jew in there. So there's two varieties. This is the old-fashioned, and this is actually a variegated. It's blooming. It's actually a variegated, and it's just getting lanky. But, you know, they die back, so I don't know if you can see the variegation in that one now. The sun is hitting it. But it's so, this is so pretty. It's like a dark and fuchsia. The veining is kind of dark, and then the edges is fuchsia, especially when it's young and it's just coming up. And then we went with, which I'm a member of the Georgia Native Plant Society. We went on a dig the 27th of September, and I got a couple of pretty goldenrods, and goldenrods, they should colonize, maybe not too much, but because I don't see it that way, I don't know, but I'm hoping it will get to be a bigger clump there and give it height next to the dirty bird bath. But we had rain, that's why we had so much leaves, or we had a little storm. As you can tell, I have yet to clean that. So that's a remnant from the rain and pine needles from the storm. And then over here is my makeshift plant nursery from stuff that we dug up with the Georgia native plant. I have a sassafras finally this is like a host plant to one of the butterflies, and I'm gonna plant that. It's actually hitchhiking with a low bush blueberry. So look, the blueberry is actually growing and doing well in the pots. And this one, I just dug them up, and it should be doing well as well, especially this fall. And look, I have this pile of rocks that I have yet to do something with. I dug them all up from here. So I planted this liatris. So another project that I've been trying to implement is buy more liatris that bloom different times of the year. So what is the name of that? Just in case you want to know. Oh. So, and then there's some, like that brown top guy right there. That's a liatris that I planted late spring. No, late winter last year. And this rose, I'm trying to let it grow a little bit in the pot before I put it in ground. This is actually a climbing rose that is hard to buy where I am. It's called Spirit of Freedom, and I got it from a marketplace girl, and so she propagated what she has and then share with people that want them. So this is Spirit of Freedom, climbing rose. You can look it up, the stats for that rose. So I think I'm going to plant it on the other side of the arbor. One side has Generous Gardener, and I think that would do well in there. So I also planted this rose in here in hopes that this would be like the structure of this little area by the path. Another hard to buy rose. It's called Theu Marks. Let's see if I can see. And so I think it's one of the French rose. I can't remember. I bought a French rose, a Japanese rose. There's this climber, and I think what was the other one? A German rose. But so anyway, we went away. So those are the hard to find roses that I got. I had a couple that I potted as well. I think I have 6 now. But anyway, so late spring or early summer, when we went plant shopping for sales, my friend and I found like the last of the pineapple sages, and so we went away for our anniversary. We went to the mountains. This was not blooming, and I thought, oh, it's not gonna bloom, because I had them before and they bloom, I think, late spring or in the summer, and they're loving it. And we went away at the end of September and it wasn't doing anything, so I thought, oh, it's probably gonna bloom next year. And I came back and I was surprised, and I was happily surprised. I'm sorry, I'm purposely putting my shadow there so you can see the hummingbird magnet pineapple sage. And you can also, it's great for tea as well. And unfortunately, I didn't beat the sun, but the Georgia aster is also blooming. It's my very, very favorite aster. It's not just because it's a Georgia native, but it's just so beautiful. It glows in the dark, and I will take a picture and use it as a like a cover so you can see better. But I swear, late in the afternoon, when the light is fading in autumn, they just glow. For a purple aster, for it to glow in the dark, usually, white plants and yellow colored plants will shine in like golden hour, but so it's making a clump there, and one actually jumped over there, the first one I showed you by the pineapple sage. It jumped there, which I'm grateful. I didn't have to plant it. And then also the lantana is continuing to bloom. The silphium looks a little ratty. I need to cut him off. The cup plant. And then the spotted geranium I finally deadheaded, and there's more to come because it's getting cool and they're liking it so much. I love this shade of red. It's sort of blood red when it kind of matures. And the lantanas, it's doing its thing. The lantana saves this side of the garden every fall. And I also love the lantana seed head. I'm pretty sure it would look good in an arrangement if you would make one. Kind of interesting and unique and different. So, and then there was that plant, I think it's called a silk grass. It's a yellow, blooming, daisy-like, kind of wide leaf grass. It's called a silk grass, but it's a native. I bought it a long time ago from Wildlife Federation, Georgia Wildlife Federation plant sale. And so everything else in the sunny border is kind of blah. And the containers I actually just deadheaded, so it looks a little smaller now. This mystic variety of dahlia. So I have 2 in here. I think this is a mystic spirit, and the other one is mystic, I don't know, desire. I can't remember. It's beautiful, pink with dark center. It was like a dark, moody pink. So beautiful. And then of course this pot or container. The animals I pulled out, like the not the verbena, but the animals that I have. You can see my previous video if you've been following me. You saw the animals that I have here. I think I had 2 different kinds and 2 different times. But the perennials are here. I stuck one of the aster in here from the rose sale rack, and then this beautiful ivy, variegated, and then this is a Georgia blue Veronica in here. It's my spiller. It's actually a ground cover, and look how nicely and long they've got, and just spill over. I didn't expect that, but the old leaves turn green, but it actually has this kind of burgundish, so that's why I love it. And it's also called Georgia. So, and then I put some violas in here, and I think I put 3 violas from yesterday. So one this color, and the 2 are like the dark purple. Let's see. So yeah, I don't have any plans, and the thyme is doing well as well in here. I guess I have to cut and trim this other ivy. No. This is actually a Virginia creeper that's growing on the ground, and it's just clambering on the pot. But the other spiller that I have on this side is thyme, and time to make tea. and here's the other ivy, and there's the remnant of the nasturtium that I planted from seed. I had 3 in there. I pulled out the other 2. And then I still have zinnias that volunteered, about to bloom. I had a volunteered beautyberry, that kind of yellow-green color. So the pollinators planted that there. I'm grateful. And there's another goldenrod that I'm hoping to colonize that space there. The sulfur butterflies. And then this is just the ratty fall area. I'm about done with peonies. I mean, they just look so bad. And I don't want to cut them because they need the leaves for photosynthesis, but you know, I don't know. I'm done with them. I think I'm gonna dig that up and put them somewhere where I don't see it all the time. Here's another self-sowed zinnia. When they self-sow, after a couple of years, they kind of are like smaller, but it matures to a little bit bigger than this. But yeah. So Gara is still blooming a little bit, just reflushing. And then the Verbena bonariensis are just trying to survive. So everything in there are just done. But my tree though, my cedar is doing well, as you can see. I can't wait for that to grow and kind of be the center of attention. What is that butterfly? It's not a monarch for sure. I don't have monarchs. Not that I'm crazy like some other people I know. Oh yeah, it's just a fritillary or American lady, I think. Yeah, sometimes they're mistaken for monarch. So yeah, this is actually not dead. This is hold on, let me step in there. That's actually a Caryopteris or Caryopteris or what, however you want to say it, or a blue beard, like a man's beard. It's just ratty. It dies back to the ground, so it's a bushy perennial that dies back. So I can't do nothing about it that it looks like that. You know, it's just done for the year, and then it will come back big and bushy, and the pollinators love them. So, you know, what can you do? And of course, the limelight is kind of dead, and then these heirloom mums is about to bloom, and they will be the last to bloom actually. So they're gonna be yellow, and they're flanking the entrance underneath the arbor. And so this is where I'm gonna plant the Freedom Spirit rose on this side, the arbor. I have to clean up this area this winter. I'm gonna dig up there's a lot of irises in there, and then pull out the weeds, and then put cardboard and replant the irises. So it's very hard grass to eliminate, hard to pull. And I actually have that sumac. I'm gonna leave that in there. I know I'll be vigilant and just pull and control the size or the suckers or whatever the new growth. But I like a sumac. It's gonna turn beautiful pretty soon. So I'm gonna leave that there. And then this container, actually the soil in here kind of settled more than I hoped or expected, but I guess I have to pull it out a little bit, or maybe not. I'll just add more if I want to plant some annuals with this. But so I think it looks all right. This Chamaecyparis, I think it's Paul's Gold, a false cypress, and I just love that contrast with the blue, and it's forever in there. Not forever, but all year round, that color. So I don't have to worry about it. And I don't know if this over winter it's growing in the ground. This Dichondra Silver Falls. I'll certainly repeat that next year and maybe add some other kind of spiller as well. So yeah, and then on the other side, oh, I'm so sorry that you didn't get to see the bloom of this moonflower. It was huge and fragrant. I need to deadhead this, but I can't right now because the moonflower is growing on it. So the moonflower, like I said before, if you've been following me, I sowed seeds to kind of cover that stump, and so I sowed a whole packet, but only one germinated. And then there's that Sweet Bay Magnolia. I think I'm gonna plant another one on the other side of the gate. And then that, I think it's a Japanese, I just saw that the other day, silk grass. It's beautiful, but it's gotten kind of too big. So I'm gonna divide that and maybe give it to friends or plant it somewhere where it can spread its legs. And so of course all the obedient plants, which unless you knew, so the obedient plant blooms like that, and this was full of blooms. and they're done actually. So it was beautiful. And so I have some of the sedum here that are, it's like the dark stemmed sedum. And then this is the society, not a society, a garlic chives. And I'm leaving, there's actually a bunch of seeds in there. And I ate one of the seeds with a friend of mine the other day. She wanted to collect seeds. And it tastes just like garlic, like strong garlic. So the sun is finally coming out. Like I said, we had some storm yesterday, so we've been gloomy for a couple of days now. This garden is really a hot mess. I just pulled out that big, huge Gora that was in there, so I replaced it with that little Joe Pye weed. And for the butterflies, I also got this short blooming and like early fall bloomer goldenrod right there. It's nice. And then of course this one that volunteered is the only really blooming aside from the goldenrod. Well, I got a few. I have this turtle head or shaloni, and I'm hoping that would get big. Otherwise I'll buy more. And then this butterfly weed is done for this season, and it's putting out seeds that are about to go airborne and go everywhere, which I hope they will take. I have another goldenrod in there. So other than that, this bed I will have to revamp in the spring. So I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna see and pay attention monthly on what's blooming here. I know the zinnia's gonna reseed here, and I have all this agilegia in here that reseeding. I also have nigellas in here that will reseed and come up in the spring. And but I have to make sure that every month in here will have something blooming, so the butterfly will not have to go far to get food. And so yeah, that's the status of the butterfly garden. It's kind of not up to par, but then again, it's fall as well. And here is the round part of the butterfly garden, and then I swear, I decided to film because it was overcast, and now of course the sun decided to come out. So this is the David Austin rose that has been reblooming for quite a while and finally is done. But I have this cardinal flower growing on it, and then also a bitter melon that decided to extend its arms and go everywhere, but that's okay. So I've been eating bitter melon for quite some times. So that's my goal, really, is to kind of eat seasonally, which is, that's the way what we're supposed to be doing is seasonal food, the way nature intended, And then, there's a bitter melon that's super ripe. So that's probably just gonna self-sow in there. So I'll just have to control the growth or the seedlings this coming spring. And then this black-eyed Susan just went nuts. The first time I decided to plant it, and so I'm gonna have fun with that next year with all the seedlings that's gonna come up. And then also this pink clover they're gonna take over from now on until frost. They're just everywhere, and you know, they were here when we got here. So, and then I finally got a perilla from the girl that was selling roses, so I'm leaving it there. I left it in the pot because there was no sense in transplanting it. It was late summer. I just wanted seeds, so next year I'll have perilla. Perilla is very, you know, desirable herb for Asian. Oh my God, what happened to my aster? Oh my God. It's so disheartening that something just knock over the beautiful aster that I have. This is a native, what is it called? Hair hoary aster, meaning it's, oh my God, it smells so good. I better not touch the poison ivy. So this is actually the edge of the, which it won't be the edge pretty long, for long, the edge of the tea garden, and the, what is this guy? Fennel, to host some butterflies, is doing well. I planted that sometime mid-summer, I think. So yeah, it's disheartening. It's kind of discouraging. But you know, I have to remind myself, my garden is only 2 years old. There's a lot of, you know, holes or empty spaces. But you know, I also don't want to overplant because I'm anticipating the growth of plants. And so you know, I'm not gonna be zealous in overplanting because there's a hole. And this erigeron has gone big. I mean, if you can see, you know, from there to here. And I actually moved this makeshift fence here because the dogs, when they go bark at the horses, they just run through there, through the fence, and so I am trying to discourage them from doing that. So that's why there's that makeshift fence that used to be in the front. And then on this back side, oh look, the Veronica is blooming. So, and I tried to leave some shallow water for the butterflies in that. That's actually a marble dish from TJ Maxx. And then the fennel here is still blooming. It's been blooming quite a while. And I think I'm gonna move it further. Well, but then again, it's in there. That's the base of the plant. I'll just need to make sure that it's not too, you know, close to the path, so, you know, I wouldn't break the stems. So look at this sedum, another dark stem sedum are growing here, and they shouldn't be here. It's too shady. That's why they look like that. So I'm gonna dig them up, replace them with something evergreen, maybe a boxwood under this tree. So, you know. And then this dahlia, oh, I'm sorry you didn't see the dahlia, but it looks like a spider. Not a spider really, but it's finally done blooming. I know I didn't take care of it, so it's now laying on the ground. But there's a bunch of buds. You know, they're gonna bloom until first frost. And I have to decide if I dig that up or not. I can get away with it in my zone if I cover it with leaves. And then that St. Andrew's cross is just yellowing for fall. And it has yellow flowers. It's one of the natives as well. It looks like a tiny daisy flower, and it has medicinal uses as well. And I planted that grass in there. It's one of the host plant for some moth. And so it was 1 gallon, and I actually split it and put the other one. Uh-oh, where did I put the other one? Somewhere in here. See what I mean? I was just been gone so long. And then here's the other liatris, which is a low-growing, fall blooming liatris. And the butterflies, the reason why I'm very interested in liatris is the butterflies love them. And unfortunately, this other liatris, which this is not dead, it's just done for the season. See this one? It's very tall, flowering stalk, but it's very early bloomer. So before the butterflies, I mean the bees benefits from it, but the butterflies, especially the monarch, not that I have monarchs, but they love the liatris. And you know, so I need a lot of fall bloomers in this garden. But like I said, my garden is 2 years old. Especially this butterfly garden. And so this is a dwarf variety. So I'm trying to vary my varieties with goldenrod and the liatris. So yeah, so the height is, hold on, sorry, glasses. The height is 18 to 24 with spread of 12 to 18 inches. So yeah, it's a dwarf variety, which, you know, and I need one more variety. It's a very tall one. It's very statuesque, and I've been looking for it. So I'll find it one day in the wild, especially now that I frequent a lot of different plant nurseries, including native specialty nurseries, and that's where usually the liatris are. And that is a Rudbeckia in there that I transplanted there, and it looks like it's gonna do well. The evergreen Arizona cypress, I don't know if you can see it. Actually, it's gotten tall. It's up to over the iron stake now, but it's gonna be skinny. So that's what I was hoping for it to be, skinny and evergreen. And the butterfly bush is winding down, but you know, the zinnias. So this is the new this year, and I don't know, I think I reordered some more. I actually received a bunch of seeds, and I mean, you know, I think I just planted in the wrong side. It's not too sunny here. And then this one I just got from a native nursery. It's one of the asters, and it was, you know, I bought it just literally a couple of days ago, so I need to cut this off, and they'll rejuvenate this fall, and next year it'll be gorgeous. So yeah, and so that's all there is. Oh, I planted this short bunny. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, little bunny dwarf. fountain grass. I looked for a bunny grass for a long time, and I finally found them this year. Like I said, Georgia, Atlanta, I don't know. So this is the dwarf, more dwarf. Bunnies are not that tall anyway, but this is even shorter, which I like to grow, especially right by the edge of the border with the rocks. And yeah, so that's the status. I'm carrying this broken aster and put it in water. Enjoy it. I really loved it before it got knocked over by my dogs, for sure. So yeah, that is the status of the garden in general. I have a couple of projects, cleaning up mostly, and we actually, I think, gonna hire somebody as well to do the bigger cleanup in the old garden. And I can't wait to show you guys that. I'm hoping I can make it into a secret garden, like the movie Secret Garden. It's gonna be shady, so it's gonna be difficult for like a secret rose garden, or a secret garden with roses, but you know, I take what I can get. But yeah, it's getting warmer, so the butterflies are, up and about. They need warmth to fly around. So yeah, I actually, even though the tea garden look a little messy and overgrown because of all the vines, but the butterflies love it there. So it actually gave me joy all year round. All year long. And so whatever, it's not the prettiest, but as long as the butterflies and the pollinators are getting something out of it, that's all I hope for. So I hope you're doing well today. So it is what? Thursday, almost the weekend, and I'm gonna plant. I'm gonna plant the Carly Rose grass, and the rest of the violas. I think I'm gonna plant it in this pot right here. Butterflies everywhere in this pot right there. So I was gonna pull this out, but the petunia, but I pulled the other one out. But look, it looks good. So I'm just gonna plant the violas in there and see what happens. I think I have enough soil in there. This is actually just this year, planted this year, so the soil is still good. I just need to put a starter fertilizer, and with this grass, see if this is the grass. Yeah, it's called a red rooster carex, and I love that. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I should have more than that, but I think some got damaged, but yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna plant them there and see if we can do that together. Let me leave this aster in here because I need to put that in water. So I think that I will see if I can take this whole tray. No, I can't. So what do you think? I know I should just do this, guys. And this dark. Let me see. Yeah, I know it's not gonna be like a thrilling or extraordinary pot or container, but it's just, I just want it simple this fall, and then, you know, in the spring we can do something extravagant and, you know. So I don't know, hold on, let me see. That might work. So this will act as a highlighter, and you know, so it will make the whole thing kind of pop. So so let's go back and so, but anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the fall weather. I will as soon as everything settles down here in our area. We usually don't get cool until there's supposed to be next week like a little rain coming, so the forecast is a little cooler, but we usually have warm Octobers, and then the end of October we'll finally get some relief and cooler temperatures. But until then, really, it's heat wave here in the southeast, which we're not complaining, trust me. We'll get our fall, you know, late October into November and December, and then before, you know, winter. So, but you know, that extends as well our growing season, so we're certainly not complaining. Well, we don't complain. So you just stay cool and stay in your lane and wait for Mother Nature, really. So anyway, so here's, probably have to pinch this because I have a root there that I don't want to kill yet. Yeah, the soil here is still good, and it looks like, I also have, when we go to Lady Slipper, they also give us a bag of Osmocote, but I also have an organic Espoma plant tone. If I don't have a plant tone, I'm pretty sure I have rose tone, or I actually have a azalea fertilizer, or you know, acidic acid fertilizer for like camellias and hydrangeas and stuff like that. So but my camellias, which I have a trailing, not camellia, yeah, I have a trailing camellia and also a corkscrew camellia. They're actually sasanquas, so they're gonna bloom soon as well. So I can't wait to show you guys that when that happens. And so this is the other petunia that I had. It was beautiful. I fell in love with it. It's called Honey by Proven Winners. And I pulled it out because obviously I didn't take care of it watering wise during the heat of summer. So, I mean, you know, it was still alive, but it was just too ratty. So, oops. I just, and then I'll water it and put some fertilizer there, and should be good to go. And so what do you think? I think it looks, and especially, you know, when they acclimate and grow bigger. And then I'll plant something to replace this later on when it's almost dead, but not quite yet. Poor guy, still blooming. So, you know, I'm pretty sure they will continue reblooming because of the cold weather. But there it is. So I think I need another one in here. Oh no, I really can't because there's the base of the petunia. Look, they're gonna bloom some more, so I'm just gonna leave them there. And then when I pull it out, I have this beautiful carex that I'm eyeing. It's a little expensive. It's $10 for like a 4-inch pot, this size, but it is so beautiful and cute. So I think that's what I'm gonna put in here. And so yeah, let me finish this with fertilizer and water. And let me show you this pot. Another of my estate sale vine pot. And so let me end this video here, and here's to hoping to see you again next time somewhere down the garden path. I love you guys. Until next time, bye.